Navy SEAL dies on mission. What they find in pocket breaks everyone's heart. Letter written every morning for daughter. Never got to give it. Team reads it first. Family gets 947 letters. The daily promise that defined a life. They found 947 letters in his pocket. One for every morning. Senior Chief David Martinez died at 06:15 on a Tuesday morning in Afghanistan's Helmand province. Sniper round through the chest during a direct action raid. Instant. Painless. The kind of death every warrior hopes for. Quick. Clean. No suffering. His team secured his body within minutes. Standard protocol. Check vitals. Confirm death. Prepare for transport. But when Petty Officer Jake Rodriguez reached into David's tactical vest to remove personal effects before medevac, his hand found something unexpected. Paper. Folded. Thick. Not one letter. A stack. Bound with rubber band. Rodriguez pulled it out. Stared. The stack was huge. Dozens of letters. Maybe hundreds. All identical size. All folded the same way. All addressed the same. To Emma. From Daddy. Day number. Rodriguez's hands started shaking as he flipped through them. Day 1. Day 2. Day 3. They kept going. Day 100. Day 200. Day 500. Day 947. Today's date. Written this morning. Before the mission. Before the raid. Before David died. Rodriguez looked at the top letter. Day 947. Unsealed. He shouldn't read it. Should respect privacy. Should just secure it and send it with the body. But something made him open it. Made him read. Made him understand what David Martinez had been carrying into every single mission for the last 947 days. Subscribe now, because what was written in those letters will change how you understand sacrifice. What David wrote every morning at 0400 before missions. What he carried into combat every single day. What his team discovered only after death. And what it meant when his 5-year-old daughter Emma finally read them all. The letter read, "My Emma. Today is day 947 since I started writing you these. 947 mornings I've woken up before dawn to write you these words. 947 times I've tried to tell you what you mean to me. What you've taught me. What you make me want to be. Today's mission is high risk. Taliban compound. Heavy resistance expected. I might not come home. I've thought that before. Every mission for 947 days. But today feels different. Heavier. So I'm writing this one differently. Emma, if you're reading this, I didn't come home. I'm so sorry. I broke my promise. I said I'd always come back. Said I'd be at your 6th birthday. Said I'd teach you to ride a bike. Said I'd walk you down the aisle someday. I won't be able to do those things now. But I need you to know something. Every single morning for 947 days, I woke up thinking about you. Wrote you a letter. Told you about my day. Told you what I learned. Told you that I love you. I carried these letters in my pocket. Every mission. Every firefight. Every moment I thought might be my last. I carried you with me. These letters are my heart. My soul. My reason for fighting. My reason for living. And now they're yours. Read one each day. In order. Starting with day 1. It'll take you 947 days to read them all. Almost 3 years. The same time I spent writing them. And when you're done, you'll have spent 3 years with your daddy. Learning what I learned. Seeing what I saw. Understanding why I chose this life. Why I chose to serve. Why I chose to protect. Why I was willing to die for people I'd never meet. Because of you, Emma. Because I want you to grow up in a world where little girls can be safe. Can be free. Can be anything they want. That's worth dying for. You are worth dying for. I love you more than all the stars in the sky. More than all the sand on all the beaches. More than every breath I've ever taken. You are my everything. And these 947 letters prove it. Read them. Learn from them. Live by them. And know that your daddy loved you every single second of every single day. Even the day I died. Especially the day I died. Love forever, Daddy. Rodriguez couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. couldn't process what he'd just read. David had been writing his daughter a letter every single day. For 947 days. 2.5 years. Every morning before missions. Before raids. Before combat. Writing Emma. Telling her about his life. His thoughts. His love. Carrying them all in his pocket. Never sending them. Never giving them. Just accumulating. Just adding one more each day. Planning to give them all to her someday. When she was old enough. When she could understand. When the timing was right. But the timing never came. And now David was gone. And Emma had 947 letters from a father who'd never stopped talking to her even when he couldn't be with her. The team gathered around. Saw Rodriguez crying. Saw the letters. What is that? Lieutenant Marcus Chin asked. Rodriguez handed him the top letter. Chin read it. His face crumbled. He passed it to Corpsman Williams. Who read it? Who started crying too? The letter went through the entire team. 8 men. All hardened warriors. All combat veterans. All reading about a father's love for his daughter. All breaking. Because this wasn't just about David anymore. This was about what they were all fighting for. Why they all served. What they all carried with them even if it wasn't physical letters. The love for people back home. The desperate hope they'd get to see them again. The fear they wouldn't. The letters made it real. Made it tangible. Made it devastating. We need to get these to his family, Chin said, his voice thick. To Emma. To his wife Sarah. This is everything. This is his legacy. This is what matters. They packaged the letters carefully. Reverently. Like handling sacred texts. Because that's what they were. Sacred. The accumulated love of a father for his daughter. 947 days of devotion. 947 mornings of waking early to write. 947 moments of David choosing to document his love rather than sleep that extra 15 minutes. That's dedication. That's sacrifice. That's love in its purest form. The team secured David's body. Secured the letters with even more care. Medevaced both home. Brought the warrior and his heart back to the family who'd been waiting 947 days for him to return. Sarah Martinez got the notification at 0900. 2 officers at her door. Dress uniforms. Solemn faces. She knew before they spoke. Knew from their expressions. Knew from the way they stood. David wasn't coming home. Mrs. Martinez, we regret to inform you. She didn't hear the rest. Couldn't hear over the sound of her world ending. David was gone. Her husband. Emma's father. The man who'd promised 947 days ago when he deployed that he'd come home. That he'd be safe. That they'd be together again. That promise was broken now. Shattered. Gone. Along with every dream they'd built together. Sarah collapsed. The officers caught her. Helped her to the couch. Gave her time. Gave her space. Then they told her about the letters. About what the team had found. About David's morning ritual. About 947 days of writing Emma. About the legacy he'd left in his pocket. Sarah couldn't comprehend it. David had been writing Emma every day? Every single day for 947 days? She'd known he'd journaled. Knew he wrote to process his experiences. But she didn't know he'd been writing Emma. Didn't know he'd been carrying letters into combat. Didn't know he'd been documenting his love in such a deliberate, methodical, beautiful way. The officers brought in a box. Heavy. Full. They opened it. Inside were 947 letters. Organized. Numbered. Day 1 through day 947. Each one a piece of David's heart. Each one a moment of his life. Each one a gift to Emma that he'd never gotten to give in person. He wanted her to have these, one officer said. His team said he carried them everywhere. Into every mission. Every firefight. Every moment. He never sent them because he was waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for her to be old enough. Waiting for, well, we think he was waiting until he came home. Until he could give them to her himself. Explain why he wrote them. What they meant. But now, the officer couldn't finish. Didn't need to. Sarah understood. David hadn't planned to die. Had planned to come home. Had planned to sit with Emma someday, maybe when she was a teenager, maybe when she graduated high school, maybe when she got married, and give her this box. This treasure. This proof of his love. And explain that even when he was gone, even when he was deployed, even when he couldn't call or video chat or be present, he was thinking about her. Every single morning. Writing her. Loving her. Carrying her with him. Emma was at school. Kindergarten. 5 years old. Didn't know yet that Daddy wasn't coming home. Sarah had to tell her. Had to break her daughter's heart. Had to explain that Daddy's last deployment had actually been his last deployment. That he wouldn't be at her 6th birthday next month. Wouldn't teach her to ride a bike this summer. Wouldn't be there for first days of school and Christmas mornings and bedtime stories. Wouldn't be there for any of it. Because Daddy had died protecting other people. Because Daddy had chosen to serve. Because Daddy had made the ultimate sacrifice. Sarah picked Emma up from school early. Brought her home. Sat her down. And told her with tears streaming that Daddy had gone to heaven. That he'd been very brave. That he died being a hero. Emma didn't understand. Couldn't understand. 5-year-olds don't comprehend death. Don't understand forever. Don't grasp finality. She just kept asking when Daddy would come home. Kept saying he promised. Kept insisting he wouldn't break a promise. Sarah's heart shattered with every question. Every "but he promised" was a knife. Every "when will he be back" was torture. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that Daddy's never coming back? That promises sometimes break not because people want them to, but because life is cruel and unfair and sometimes heroes die? You can't explain it. You just hold them while they cry. While they process. While they begin the long journey of learning to live without someone who is their whole world. But then Sarah remembered the letters. Remembered David's final message. Remembered his instruction. Read one each day. In order. Starting with day 1. Sarah brought the box to Emma. Sat her down. Emma, baby, Daddy left you something. Something very special. He wrote you letters. Lots of letters. One for every day he was away. 947 letters. He carried them with him every single day. And now he wants you to read them. Emma's eyes went wide. Daddy wrote me letters? Like in the mail. Sarah nodded. Better than mail, sweetheart. These are letters he never sent. Letters he saved. Letters he was going to give you when you were older. But now he wants you to have them now. And he wants you to read one each day. Starting with this one. Day 1. She handed Emma the first letter. Emma couldn't read yet. Not well. But Sarah read it to her. Dear Emma, today is day 1. I left this morning for my deployment. You were still sleeping. I kissed your forehead and whispered that I love you. You smiled in your sleep. That smile is what I'll carry with me. That smile is why I fight. Today I learned that being brave isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. I'm scared, Emma. Scared I won't come home. Scared I'll miss too much of your life. Scared you'll forget me. But I'm doing this anyway. Because you deserve a world where you can smile in your sleep without fear. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what I'll always fight for. I love you, Emma. More than anything. Love, Daddy. Day 1. Emma listened. Didn't fully understand. But felt something. Felt Daddy's presence. Felt his love. Felt him there even though he wasn't. Can we read another one? She asked. Sarah shook her head gently. Daddy said 1 per day, sweetheart. So we'll read day 2 tomorrow. And day 3 the next day. And we'll keep reading one each day until we've read all 947. It'll take almost 3 years. But when we're done, you'll have spent 3 years with Daddy. Learning from him. Hearing his voice. Understanding him. That's his gift to you. And they did. Every single day for 947 days, Sarah read Emma 1 letter. Day 2. Day 3. Day 100. Day 500. Day 947. Each one a piece of David. Each one a lesson. Each one a moment of love. The letters covered everything. What David learned in training. What he saw on missions. What scared him. What inspired him. What made him laugh. What made him think. What he hoped for Emma's future. what he prayed she'd become, what he wanted her to know about life and love and courage and fear. They were profound. They were silly. They were deep. They were light. They were everything a father could tell a daughter if he had unlimited time and unlimited honesty. Some letters were heartbreaking. Day 456. Today we lost a teammate. I can't tell you his name or how, but I can tell you that he died protecting others. That's what we do, Emma. We protect. Even when it costs everything. I thought about you all day. Thought about how lucky you are to not understand death yet. To not know that people you love can disappear forever. Stay innocent as long as you can, sweetheart. The world is hard enough. Some letters were beautiful. Day 678. Today I saw the sunrise over the mountains. It was so beautiful I cried. I thought about how you'll see thousands of sunrises in your life. I hope you never take them for granted. I hope you stop and watch them sometimes. I hope you remember that every sunrise is a gift. A promise of a new day. A chance to be better. That's what I think about when I see them. That's what I hope you'll think about too. Some letters were funny. Day 234. Today I learned that scorpions glow under UV light. Your Uncle Jake thought this was hilarious and spent an hour hunting scorpions with a blacklight. We found 17. I'm telling you this because someday you'll learn useless facts too. And that's okay. Not everything has to be important. Sometimes learning that scorpions glow is enough. Emma grew up with those letters. Turned 6 while reading day 30. Turned 7 while reading day 395. Turned 8 while reading day 760. By the time she read day 947, the final letter, the one written the morning David died, she was 8 years old. Old enough to understand. Old enough to remember. Old enough to grasp what her father had given her. She read that final letter herself this time. Sarah watched her daughter's face as she read about how David thought today might be his last day. How he was scared but determined. How he loved her more than life itself. How these letters were his heart. Emma finished reading. Looked up at Sarah with tears streaming. Mommy, Daddy loved me so much. Sarah pulled her close. He did, baby. More than anything in the world. These letters prove it. 947 days of proving it. Emma held the final letter to her chest. I'm going to keep them forever. And when I have kids someday, I'll show them. I'll tell them about Grandpa David. About how he wrote me letters every day. About how he carried his love into battle. About how he taught me everything even though he died when I was 5. I'll tell them that love is stronger than death. That fathers can be present even when they're gone. That 947 letters can last a lifetime. 10 years later, Emma Martinez stood at the Naval Academy graduation ceremony. She was 18 now. A plebe. First year. She'd chosen to follow her father's path. To serve. To protect. To carry on his legacy. During the ceremony, she was asked to speak. To share why she'd chosen military service. She brought a letter with her. Day 947. Her father's last words. My father, Senior Chief David Martinez, died when I was 5 years old. I barely remember him, but I know him better than anyone. Because for 947 days, he wrote me a letter every single morning, told me about his life, his fears, his hopes, his love. He carried those letters into combat, into danger, into death. And when he died, those letters came home to me. I spent 3 years reading them, one each day, learning who my father was, what he believed, what he fought for. And I learned something important. He didn't fight for his country. He didn't fight for freedom or democracy or politics. He fought for me, for the little girl who smiled in her sleep, for the daughter he wanted to protect, for the future he hoped I'd have. That's what warriors really fight for. Not abstract concepts. People. Specific people they love. And I'm here because I want to fight for people too. I want to be what my father was. A protector. A guardian. Someone who carries love into battle. Someone who writes letters even when they might never be read. Someone who proves that love is stronger than death. That's why I serve. Because my father taught me that service is love-made action. Thank you, Daddy. For 947 letters. For 947 days of love. For teaching me everything I needed to know. For being my hero. Always. The audience stood. Applauded. Cried. Because Emma had shown them what David's sacrifice really meant. Not just that he died, but how he lived. How he loved. How he chose every single morning for 947 days to wake up early and write his daughter. To document his love. To create a legacy that would outlive him. That's the real story. Not the death. The life. The choice. The love. The 947 letters that proved a father's heart never stops beating even after the body does. If this story changed how you see sacrifice, how you see love, how you see what matters, subscribe now. Share this with someone who needs to know that love leaves evidence. That fathers can be present even in absence. That 947 letters can define a life. Comment where you're watching from and what you'd write if you had 947 days to tell someone you love them. Because David Martinez did write it, did carry it, did prove it. And now Emma carries that same love forward. Into service. Into sacrifice. Into the future her father died to protect. Find your 947 letters. Find your daily proof of love. Find what you'd carry into danger. Then write it. Document it. Make it real. Because life is fragile. Tomorrow isn't promised. But love written down lives forever. That's what David proved. That's what Emma learned. That's what we all should know. Write your love. Speak your love. Show your love. Every single day. For 947 days. For forever. Because that's what matters. That's what lasts. That's what makes sacrifice meaningful. Love documented. Love carried. Love that survives death. Write your letters. Start today. Make your love evidence. That's the lesson. That's the legacy. That's what 947 letters in a pocket can teach us all. Love never dies when it's written down. Never fades when it's documented. Never ends when it's carried into battle and brought home. David Martinez proved it. Emma lives it. Now you know it. Write your letters. Always.